right, man. So this past week we had Blue's Clues 25th anniversary,
Oh man.
and for anyone who doesn't know, it's a childhood show of '90s kids having a live action actor Steve Burns portraying the character Steve with animated characters such as Blue, which is a blue little dog, and Salt Shaker, and all living unanimate objects, right? So he left the show at its peak back in the 2000s, and for the 25th anniversary, Steve Burns came back to portray the character Steve on
With the
Nickelodeon
ball
Jr. Huh?
with the ball.
Yeah, man, came back, a bit older, and basically made a statement and a little video on Nick Jr.'s channel stating that it's been a while. I never forgot about you. Life has been hard. Don't give up. I like you for who you are, and keep your head up. Basically, and just to sum up basically everything he said, it was, it's like a little heartfelt moment, whatever, heartfelt segment. And the reaction on Twitter, the reaction on social media, the reaction of like, you see these tweets and these memes, and you see, these comments of like, I saw one where it's like, a picture of someone crying is like, damn, Steve, I ain't done shit since you left. Come back. Um,
Oh man. Whew.
yeah, you see shit like I was depressed and then I saw your video and now like I'm depressed again because I have to face reality or whatever. And jokes about basically ever since Steve left, shit hasn't been the same. And, I'm looking back at my life and, such and so forth. Basically, they're people making fun of the scenario a little bit. But as we both know, there is definitely truth to humor and comedy. And some of it is not just funny, some of it is really real, you know? And I'm going to just say this for this millennial generation. Something is definitely wrong with us in
Oh my
terms of
goodness.
this nostalgia. Something is fucked up with this 90s generation, this millennial generation, because for a good amount of us, I would say there's too much. There's too many of us in this millennial generation where we feel like the best days are behind us by the age of 25.
Oh man. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. Oh man, you said this was gonna be one of them ones, dog.
I told you, man. I
This is
told you.
this is getting dangerous because I'm really tempted to crack another can, but damn.
I'm dead serious. There's too many of us thinking that the best days are behind us at 25, 30, 27, 35, whatever, right?
Hmm.
Where your childhood, our childhood is the best it's ever going to get, and that's it.
Fuck. Fuck.
This is how a lot of us feel. This is how a lot of millennials feel. And it's just, I think it's that transition, right? We were in that generation where we got a little bit of the old world, right? The pre-information age, before the age of the internet. And then we grew up a little bit with a mixture of both.
Mm.
And when we got older, we saw how the world worked. We saw how, you get a factory job, you work 20 years at the factory job, you get your pension, you get a house, you get the wife and kids, you're good with the one job.
Oh man, keep cooking, bro. Keep cooking.
You go to college, you work a part-time job, you pay off your student loan while you're in college, you pay off college while you're working in college, and then as soon as you get your degree, you work yourself to a company, and then you stay at the company for 20 years, get your pension, whatever, you know,
Man.
get yourself a four-bedroom house, white picket fence, family and a dog, Disney, vacations to Disney World, and everything's good, right?
Oh man, maybe you get a passport.
Right. Maybe you go to Paris or, a little trip to the Caribbean or something.
Yep.
So it's this millennial age. There's something wrong with us to the fact that we are basically living for nostalgia,
Man.
and we are living in the past. And this is why nostalgia is so big right now because
Of
that's
us?
because of us, because of that segment, right? That segment of Steve brought out an emotional uproar from us, you know? Um,
What?
just think about, our parents, right? My dad's a big Thundercats fan. He's not buying Thundercats, toys, and he might buy the DVD and watch one episode here or there, but he's not buying into his childhood like that. 80s kids, they buy into childhood a little bit like us, but we're essentially almost like reliving our childhood because it gives us the best feeling of being alive,
Fuck. Oh man, yeah,
like
dog.
like can you imagine, like, I've never heard, my father, aunts or uncles or whatever, right, your elders say that, man, I wish I was a kid again. Like, man, I wish I was 15, 12, 10, 9. Like, those were the best years. You never heard those words uttered. And I know part of it's because, you don't want to hear your dad say it was better before you enter the picture. But still, even then it's like, yeah, the best years of my life was, when we first were married, we were traveling the world or whatever, right? There's no
Yeah,
other generation that has some of these same sentiments as us. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's just really, really fucked up how this generation is literally feels like we peaked in our childhood and it's downhill ever since.
Oh, oh man, no, no, that's fact. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? To steal one of your quotes, you ain't telling no lies here, bro. Like the fact that a show, and this is what's even funnier about this here, right? You know, none of us were ever gonna be willing to admit that we watched Blue's Clues when we were of that age, right?
Right.
Nobody was gonna ever admit that they would stay home from school, and on that day they stayed home from school, they was watching Blue's Clues. I guarantee you. And if anybody, nobody, right? When I was in fourth, fifth, sixth, maybe even seventh grade, nobody was sitting at the table at lunch that had the balls to admit they was watching Blue's Clues, dog.
Nope. Nick Jr. wasn't a thing. Didn't exist. But you
No,
damn near everyone was watching Nick Jr.
right, right. And even if you didn't want to watch it, you was watching it because after 9:30, that's when they was gonna show Rugrats or SpongeBob or Timmy Turner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was gonna admit that because you know what? Guess what they were showing on Disney Channel? Right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The motherfuckers didn't want to watch. You didn't want to watch PB and J Otter or Bear in the Big Blue
They're in the
House.
big blue house,
You didn't want to watch that
out
shit,
of the
bro.
box.
You didn't want to watch that. Come on, dog. Like, and you know why? I know. Like, I didn't want to watch that shit. And if on Cartoon Network, it was the Hanna Barbera hour.
Right,
You
right. We
know what
got
I'm
the
saying?
reruns. Yep.
So that was what your choice was. So at the end of the day, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Um, I remember going on vacation. There was like 2 summers in a row. My uncle Jeffrey was stationed in Amarillo, Texas. He was in the army. I think
Mhm.
he was at Fort. I don't even want to say it wrong, but he was stationed in Amarillo, Texas, or somewhere. I don't even remember what fuck it might have been Amarillo. I remember going there, and my cousin Michaela was like 3 years old, and she watched Blue's Clues every day. I didn't know what the fuck Blue's Clues was. I didn't know what Nick Jr. was, but she was a baby, and they watched whatever she wanted to watch when we went over there, right? That
Right.
was what was on. So, after that, you know what I'm saying? When I stayed home from school, if I wanted, like Nick Jr. was what you put on TV to get through to watch what the fuck you wanted to watch when you
Right.
stayed home from school that day. Nobody watched Blue's Clues by choice, right?
Right.
Nobody did that shit. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Steve was dropping gems, dog.
Yeah, man. Steve was like a Nickelodeon version, Mister Rogers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was dropping gems, but it is very, it's borderline morbid and depressing to know that there were people who told like word y'all couldn't do nothing after he left Blues Clues. Like your life was done after that. After he left, like we that happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right,
not
right.
I'm not being judgmental or nothing like that, but like that's what happened.
Like, nah, man. Like, it's some real sentiments, man. What he said in student loan, family, uh, debt, and a couple other things. And he's trying to mention some. He was in character. He wasn't saying himself, but he was in character, saying
Man,
certain things. But it's like the reception was just like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like Steve, like that nostalgia hit, and it's like looking back, I haven't really done anything, or I haven't lived up to my full potential or whatever. And
man,
it's just like this kind of reaction. I'm not sure because we're in the internet age. I'm not sure, we had a little bit of both the old world and the internet age, but I just don't see other generations react in this kind of way to certain things.
I agree.
I just don't see it. I don't
Like
see this.
let's compare and contrast here for a second here, right?
Uh,
You've seen the original animated Transformers movie, right?
yeah, where was it,
Okay,
Optimus died.
right. Optimus Prime died in the original Transformers movie, but I don't know that my brother and my older cousin that I grew up with, or some of my other cousins who were around the same age as my brother, I don't know that when Optimus Prime died, that their hopes for finding a job and supporting their kids died when Optimus Prime was replaced by Rodimus Prime. I don't know that that happened. I don't know that my brother is going to verbalize that he lost hope for the future when Optimus died in 1986 in Transformers. I don't bro, what the fuck? Like, nah, bro, we can't be going out like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I love, oh man, bro. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Some real shit, man. Like,
Like,
I
what are
know
we
we
doing?
laughing about it, but this is
No,
reality, man. Like, and I don't want to be a jerk about it. Some of it's funny, but some of it's not funny. Like, this is
no. You
that
speaking
serious to a
because
certain degree.
because you speaking some facts right now. Because on one end of it, I remember vividly, like on Friday. I remember vividly on Fridays, looking forward to watching Cartoon Fridays, hosted by, you know, one of many characters on Cartoon Network, right? Like I still get on YouTube and look at clips of Toonami promos
Mm.
for my favorite shows that were on Toonami. I still do that. But at the same time, I do agree with you. The fact that we can remember living through it when it happened and we still have access to it now as adults does hit a little bit differently as opposed to people who came after us and came before us. Because, my brother's not getting on YouTube and looking at clips of Toonami because he didn't grow up with Toonami. He didn't give a fuck about Dragon Ball Z. My brother didn't care about that, right?
Hmm.
My niece, who's 15 years old now, doesn't care about Toonami. She has a T-shirt that has like the Rugrats on it, but she doesn't know nothing about the fucking Rugrats. Me and you had a in-depth conversation.
Yeah, we did.
You know what I'm saying? We had an in-depth conversation about like what the adults on Rugrats might have been doing while the kids were being highlighted on that show. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
we can identify with that. We can get on YouTube and look at clips Rugrats and be like, oh shit, like this might have been what was really going on right here. You know what I'm saying? Stu Pickles was on his ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Stu Pickles was on his ass. Drew Pickles was getting cucked. You know, Chaz Spencer was really a lawyer. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We can do that because we grew up with that and we can go back on it and reflect on it. But there is an element of like, holy, like, whoa, like, did we not really read between the lines and see what was being told to us? And now, where we are in our lives right now, like we're right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's somebody who's the same age as we are that is living the life of Stu Pickles right now.
Facts.
Yeah, like,
And I hate to say it, but that is facts. Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying? There's somebody right now, like, bro, this shit done got real crazy. This shit done got crazy right now,
Oh
bro.
man.
This shit
Holy
done got
fuck. He
this.
said there's someone right now living the
There's some.
life of Drew Pickles.
I promise you, bro.
No, you right, bro.
There's somebody right now who's the same age as we are that is married with a daughter at home that's living the life of Stu Pickles, not knowing what the fuck I'm about to like, bro, this next 5 years might look kind of shaky. You know what I'm saying? The old lady done got it figured out, but damn, like this next couple of years might look a little shaky right now, right? But we looked at Stu Pickles like, nah, that ain't finna be me. Oh man, yeah.
Said that one day you woke up like, oh shit.
Yo, like for real. Oh man, word, bro.
Oh man, there's a meme of not Drew, Stu, making brownies at 3 a.m. in the morning, and everyone is like, I totally relate to that now. Like,
Yo, and you know
she's
what?
like, what's Tommy's mom's name? I forgot, but she's like,
Dee Dee,
Stu. Dee Dee was like,
Dee
Stu, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making brownies. He's like, why are you making brownies? Because I've completely lost control of everything in my life.
Yo.
He's, yo,
Right. I agree with you. You know what? And when you put it in them terms, it's crazy because like even with like there's a joke. I don't know if you ever got around to watching Team Four Star. I know that Petey and shout out to King Arthur, but I know Petey made reference to it. But like one of the coldest lines on Team Four Star is like right after Gohan does what he does, Piccolo tells him, like, puts his hand on his shoulder with the voiceover and tells him, "You peaked." And then Gohan is like, "What?"
shit.
But you know, there
That's
is there is kind of that feeling there where it's like, yeah, you know, for us children of the early '90s specifically, there is kind of that feeling of peaking a little bit early, man. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I'm gonna tell you the whole truth, and you know this really turned into a real life podcast right here. Fuck
hell
that shit,
yeah,
bro.
man.
Fuck that, man. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, man, we enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking. We enjoy having other people on this platform. But fuck all of that, bro. Like, you know, I know that the two of us have done things to beat the odds. We have done things in our lives to where we're not doing this podcast from a perspective of two individuals who have already reached that level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Physically, yeah, I might be in some pain every day as a result of the United States Air Force or
Yeah.
whatever, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way because all of that serves to put me in the position that I'm in right now, and I think you would agree with that as well. But they definitely set us up for the L, bro.
Yeah,
Definitely,
dude.
we definitely got set up for the okie doke, man. And you know, anybody who disagrees with that, that's cool. But there's a lot of homies out there that are in the same age bracket as us right now that are down pretty bad right now. So I agree with some of them sentiments that you put out there. You put out some real shit, bro. Facts. That's some real shit you was talking right there, dog.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, it's a real thing. Nostalgia is a real thing with this generation. It's why, especially in the nerd culture. I'm only nerd culture. What am I saying? Everyone's a freaking nerd now for the most part. So
Yep.
all this money you spend on whatever, it's just kind of just like a placebo effect. Trying to, it's a drug, trying to get that feeling again of being a kid or getting those warm sentiments of childhood. But I mean, it's a real thing, man. And my last closing statements is, if your life is like Drew Pickles right now or Stu,
Ooh.
man, like I'd have to say it's the best days can be ahead, and
Yo, yo,
the best
and
days can be ahead, and you don't have to bury yourself in the past to have a good feeling.
yeah, man. And to piggyback off that, no disrespect, but with what you just said comes the acknowledgement that Space Jam was not a good movie. Space Jam was not a cinematic masterpiece. It was
No,
not. If Space Jam New Legacy is a bad movie, please acknowledge that Space Jam was every bit as mediocre as this movie that came out this year. And I promise everything after that gets much easier. You know what I'm
please
saying?
come off your high horse.
Please do that. Please.
Oh man, lay off the Lola porn.
Oh man.
Shit, that's it. That's all I got.
Oh man.
That's it.